Guys, welcome to 2011 Star Shot channel. We're doing another live stream, but this is a different live stream. This isn't me just sitting at home on my own doing absolute rubbish. We are doing a live stream with a very special guest, a good friend of mine, and that's Alex over at the Ragin Nation.
What's up, guys?
So, Alex, obviously,
are there people watching right now?
Hey?
Are there people watching right now?
I've got people in the stream.
Are they hearing us, or are they hearing us, or are they seeing us?
They're seeing and hearing, hopefully.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'll ask you guys: is the stream good? Is it how is it? Is the quality good? Is the sound good? Everyone's saying yeah. So.
Oh, okay. So they can type their responses, but they're not. We can't hear them, right?
We can't hear them. They're
okay.
going to be
all right.
Commenting. Yeah. So yeah, this is a new thing for me. I'm not so used
totally
to doing
new for me.
I
actually thought Google Hangouts was that you can see multiple people who are like, you can see the faces of everybody who watches us. Because I've seen those types of videos where you can see like everybody on the video actually.
I think the thing about Google Hangout is that it switches between the camera. So whoever's talking has priority. So yeah, so it's I think that's a pretty good system actually. So yeah, so I think saying it's good, so that's good.
So hold on a sec, Ben. Can I actually send this link to other people, like to the
yeah, I mean,
will that work?
I'll copy you the link for the stream. I'll just I'll send it to you on Facebook if you want.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it works like that. If it's public.
I think you can have like a stream with about like 10 people in if you wanted. I saw one for the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You know what? Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it alone. You know what? Let's just like go.
Cool. Let's talk about that. Right. So, Alex, obviously Transformers 5, big thing going right now. We're in the middle of production. Sure, you're more than aware of that because you're like the main Transformers 5 news guy. What are your thoughts on it all so far? What's your opinion on like the production that we've seen so far?
Really exciting. Everything that I'm seeing makes me pretty happy. I'm just really excited, really looking forward to it. I'm seeing a lot of things that it looks like they're doing a lot of really new things, and I think I say this every time. I always say that this is going to be the best one yet. I don't know if it's going to be the best one yet, but I'm excited. I'm keeping a very optimistic outlook on it.
It's very exciting. How overexcited do we all get when we see something during the film? Like I've been doing these updates since like sort of halfway through Dark of the Moon. I know you covered a lot of Dark of the Moon. Like I remember all like the Red Ferrari stuff. That's how I actually started watching your channel, was through the Red Ferrari. And that's how I kind of got into your channel. But like I say, we've been doing this for like a really long time, and despite the fact that we do it every couple of years, and the news is relatively like it's the same sort of dynamic in terms of like when trailers are out, when pre-production starts, when post-production starts, all of that, and when like the full marketing comes out. And we've done all of this for years, but every single time you still get excited like it's the first one.
Yeah, no kidding. I get excited every time because a lot of what we see is like Michael Bay makes these movies like right in the city where everybody can see it, so we can see we feel like we're in the production as well because we can see all the photos, all the set videos, and I feel like I'm a part of it because we're getting all the updates so quick. So you can't help but get excited about it. I mean, even if you're not even a fan of it, you see all these explosions go off, and you think about like, oh, this looks like an exciting movie. I'd love to see that, right? So it's just Michael Bay doing what he does best, right?
That's one of the big things that excited me during the filming of Dark of the Moon was the just watching the sequence of them filming for Optimus Prime flying down to cons.
Yeah, the Chicago
Seeing
battle.
those explosions, yeah, it was mad. It was so exciting. And then you see, like, I think Michael Bay actually shot that scene where one of the soldiers landed on the car,
Yeah.
and Josh pick him off, and Michael Bay was right there with the camera and stuff, and it was so cool to watch and like speculate what was going on at the time. So
totally,
yeah, it's really cool. But again, the excitement levels are high. I've said to you a couple weeks ago privately that the excitement's even more high for this film because of they're doing things differently. I mean, we're seeing on-set videos now from behind the scenes that we would never have seen before. And it's mad, and Facebook Live and stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that they're changing things up and how they're marketing the film. Typically, we would expect to see the marketing after they're done filming because, you know, they focus on the production and then afterwards they focus on promoting the movie. But they're doing that at the same time while the production's going on, the promotion is in full swing, and that is something that we as the fans are not used to, and it actually gives us an official look at everything that's going on instead of not just the set photos from people with their camera phones. We're getting an actual official look, and these are things that Michael Bay and Paramount Pictures and Hasbro, they want to show this to us, so it helps promote the movie, and it's something that is very, very exciting for all of us. So I love that they're doing this. I love the whole Snapchat thing, the Facebook Live, the Instagram and Twitter posts. It's excellent, and yeah, it's very, very different, and it's fantastic.
It is very good. Do you think that, because like I said, we've not changed studios and we've not changed director, so why all of a sudden this change? I'm thinking it's obviously something to do with they've obviously got around and stuff, and right, we're not only sorting out these movies, but we're sorting out the way these movies are marketed production wise and stuff, and we're really going to engage with the fans now. Is that something that they would have had a say in, or is it maybe in just someone different has come in and out and stuff and said, right, we're doing this differently for this movie?
Sorry, what was the question? Why Michael Bay? Or
who would have made that? The studio hasn't changed and the director hasn't changed, so who would have made that call?
Oh, okay. Well, it would be the hierarchy, the studio executives. They made that call, and it really is all about the end result in the studio's minds, in Hasbro's minds, in Paramount's minds. The end result is all that matters, and the end result is, of course, big box office dollars. I mean, you know, it's all a business at the end of the day. I mean, of course, the fans do matter, but you know, it's a very one-sided thing. The studios see $1 billion and automatically that equates to a success, which in my mind is success to me. Like, they've made a really like big box office blockbuster hit. Of course, you know, people see it in different ways because it's not just about the quantity of how much money they make, but also the quality of the film. But in studio executives' minds, all they see for what success is box office dollars, and that equates to quality to them. And even, you know what, the Transformers films have become like a like, they've evolved into a very commercialized type of feature film. All right, I mean, they're selling toys, they're selling cars, they're selling all kinds of products in their product placement, and they've just evolved into a very Michael Bay-ish type of film, right? Which it always was. I don't think it was so much that in the very beginning, but it has evolved into that, right? It evolved into a very commercialized film, and I've learned to accept that. So, you know, there are a lot of better movies out there, but I don't complain about it anymore. I just see these movies as pure entertainment. They're a lot of fun, and that's what he's here to give us. So I have no complaints. I don't mind. Yeah,
110% agree. Every film that comes out, I mean, I know critically and stuff, Transformers: Age of Extinction was not well received, but
Yeah.
I can still get enjoyment out of it, and I don't go into the movies like expecting Inception style writing, and I don't go into these movies expecting Oscar nomination acting.
Yeah.
I go into these movies to watch massive robots fight
Yeah.
and a massive T-Rex destroy a few buildings, and you know, that's what I expect. And like I said, I feel like people do go into these movies with these expectations sometimes, and I'm like, why do that? You know, I think once you got what they are, which with Michael Bay at the helm is pure entertainment, action ride, everything.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, you just get on board with it. Obviously, the action's gone way up, like in Age of Extinction and stuff. I still think that the first film was the best out of the three, opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2007 movie.
First film was the best one.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been saying in my videos recently that, I mean, I don't know about you, but what I've seen from the seems like they're keeping like the enemy versus the Autobots small, and not drones everywhere, flash cars everywhere, and all of that.
Yeah.
Don't know if you thought that.
Well, I feel like they're going to include drones in this. We've seen evidence of vehicles that have a very you know, they're all very uniform, like those black Lexus sedans. Some of those military vehicles could be drones, but what we're getting is these four very unique looking Decepticons, and like the bike, the tow truck, you know, Onslaught, Barricade, and the Volkswagen van, that really beat up Volkswagen van. And I don't think that Michael Bay would have chosen these four alt modes if they weren't going to be unique, like as in like they're unique characters. And that's something that we haven't really gotten in the last three sequels. If you look back at Age of Extinction, it was Galvatron and Stinger. That's it. Just Galvatron and Stinger. Oh, and then there's Lockdown, of course. But they did not work together, right? They were three very separate entities, right? In Dark of the Moon, the only big announcement was really Shockwave. They promoted Shockwave as if he was the next big bad villain, and you know where that went, right? Right, and then Revenge of the Fallen, they promoted the Constructicons, and the Constructicons were really only seen at the end of the movie, right? And they, you know, they didn't really work together. It didn't even feel like they were promoting Constructicons. They were trying to promote Devastator, because we never actually saw the Constructicons work together. They were just in background, right? So I think this is the first time since the first Transformers film in 2007 where we're actually seeing unique Decepticons which are going to work together. So that's why I'm excited about this.
It's one thing, you know, like I said, it's like you just said. Of course, I think we've grown to expect like drones and stuff, because the Autobots need something to kill.
Yeah, they need something to destroy.
But, cannon fodder. It's yeah, and it's there for spectacle. But what I've seen, I'm liking that the way it looks. They are kind of going back to basics with the first film of having a small group of Autobots and Decepticons.
Yeah.
And I like that. I spoke about this in my recent video, and what I like at the minute is that they seem to be having sort of matchups, if that makes sense. So like Bumblebee's got Barricade, and they're obviously going to have their rivalry sort of renewed. And now Hound has got to go against Onslaught.
Yeah.
So should we expect like the bike to be Drift's sort of nemesis, and maybe like the VW van can be like Crosshair's nemesis or something?
Yeah, that's highly possible. I have a feeling that the motorcycle is going to be something that the humans will have to deal with. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually. Yeah, because they need their heart in there, obviously. Because
Yeah, yeah. I believe there is a human-sized Decepticon. I'm not sure if it's the motorcycle, but there is a human-sized Decepticon. That's what I believe.
That'd be pretty cool as well to see. So, obviously, Mark Wahlberg's returning to this film. He's a history as Cade as with fighting Transformers. So I think he would be on the front line in that fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really good that, like I said, there is a new feel to this film, and I don't know if Michael Bay's necessarily had a problem with it in the previous years, but it's definitely like I think it's definitely new to him and stuff, like having to. I don't know if you saw the Facebook Live video behind the scenes, and Michael
I've seen them all.
Did not like you. He did not like using that selfie stick.
Oh yeah,
he hated it.
That was like I understand why it was like really chaotic the way it was filmed. It's just like, I mean, because they're in an interior set, there's a lot of equipment everywhere, you know, and there's a lot of people everywhere. So it was hard to make out what was really going on. But at the same time, he also does not want to give away exactly what's going on, right? So I think it's fine that he did what he decided to do.
It's I can sort of sympathise with him actually, because I was like, we know Michael Bay is a constantly 120 mile an hour director. He's constantly on the guns.
Yeah.
Imagine you've just been handed this social media thing that you have to do for about 10 minutes. I can see why he might have not been too happy about it, but I'm glad he did it. Very.
Something I want to add is that Michael Bay, he, like a few years ago, he was totally against the idea of Twitter and Instagram. He thought it would be, especially Twitter, he said it was like a waste of time. He said that, actually. He tweeted that. I remember that. But you know what? It's people need to evolve, you know, the way they do their things, because social media is here to stay. Twitter and Facebook, all that stuff, it's here to stay. So if you're not part of the social media bandwagon, you are going to be left behind, right? So they need to do these sort of things, and I'm glad that they are, because you know, they need to get on top of that.
It's definitely. It's and it's I love the way they advertise. Well, but try connecting with the fans in that aspect, and it's really good to see. And what I would like to ask you, Alex, is out of the new, I mean, you can kind of count the old ones from Age of Extinction, but out of all the new Autobots and the Decepticons, which has been your favourites? Which are the ones that made you sort of go, wow, I can't believe that?
you mean in the Last Night?
Yeah, in the Last Night. Who's your new favourite characters, or new ones that you're impressed to see?
Okay. I think that for the Autobots, the fact that they changed Drift's alt mode was pretty wow to me. Like, I think it was a bold move for them, just because a lot of people do like the fact that Drift is a Bugatti Veyron, and to change that up to what is he, a Mercedes now? Yeah, he's a Mercedes, right? Yeah, to change it up to a Mercedes, that is something that you know, people will take it differently. Like they might like it, they might not like it. But I remember when the first time they announced Drift as a Bugatti, I think a lot of people really appreciated that. Some people were hoping that he was going to be a Nissan GTR like myself, but still, like, I thought it was a very fitting alt mode. But now they're changing that up. I'm very curious to see what he's going to look like as a robot, right? And that's like, I want to see how much he will have changed. Now, as for the Decepticons, I think Onslaught is the big deal. Onslaught, man, I'm excited to see not only his robot mode, I'm excited to see his height. I'm excited to see all the muscle on him, and I'm excited to see him fight. So I really am really looking forward to how they're going to handle such a high-profile character like Onslaught, the leader of the Combaticons. I don't know if they're actually going to have Combaticons in there, but I'm pretty sure the writers will have at least done the research on who Onslaught really is.
he's going to be. Even if the Combaticons aren't there, I get the impression that he's going to be the sort of like that commander, effectively the opposite of Hound, but just for the Decepticon side, he's going to be Hound's opposite. And that's going to be. They've got to do that matchup. They've got to have Hound versus Onslaught, surely.
Yeah.
It's and just going back Drift as well. One of the thing, not only the vehicle change, but I found the color change to be like the thing I actually got most excited about, because the concept art that was released for Age of Extinction showed a black and orange Drift. So it's good to see that they've actually took the time to actually. I think a lot of people like that concept art as well. So if they've gone off the feedback for that, then it's good to see that they've made the changes for the next movie.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, with the announcement of Onslaught, expect Combaticons, or is it just going to be hype?
Sir, what was that? You kind of cut out for a little bit. What was that last question?
Sorry. Should we expect the Combaticons, or is it just going to be hype that we get excited about?
So should we really be excited, or is it just hype?
Should we be excited about that they could actually be in this film, or is it just something because we're seeing Onslaught and they're nowhere near being in this film?
Oh, no. I think, I cannot speak for the production, but I think that it is time to get excited, because just like I said before, these, based on what we've seen in the production, we're seeing these 4 vehicles show up together in various locations. All right, it's not just in Arizona, but also in where they're filming in Detroit, but not just in Detroit, but various locations in Detroit. So I think that the fact that they have been present together as opposed to scattered all over the place, I think that's a pretty big deal. It shows that there's a kind of like a working together as a team. I also can see the so far what appears to be a one-on-one thing with Barricade and Bumblebee. It's something, it's like unfinished business from the first one, right? Because if you really look back at it, all the sequels are standalone stories, even though there are references from the previous film. I think the fact that Bumblebee and Barricade appear in this one is a great callback to the first one, because it reminds us that there's a bit of a retaliation, and this is a story that takes place between 2 robot characters. I'm not just talking about human characters, but robot characters, right? So I'm glad they're addressing things like that. So I think that the writers did their homework. I have faith in these writers.
I've got very massive faith in these writers, especially after Aaron Kruger's. He's one that I am very glad that left the Transformers franchise. If you'd said, who do you want to take this franchise, Aaron Kruger or Michael Bay, I would have gone with the writer straight away, because I don't have on films. The writing, on the other hand, So yeah, it's but obviously, sort of with Barricade, that are we looking at him as a potential, obviously not main character, but he's going to be a big part of this film for them to bring him back?
I'll be completely honest. What I can expect to see from Barricade is him having a few lines here and there. I don't think he's going to be like a big main character, but I expect him to have a few lines. But his main scene is the fight with Bumblebee, and I think it's going to be a good fight. Yeah.
It seems like we've actually using his to sort of his advantage as well, because obviously in recent set videos with, I know they're in Detroit, but it's London. He's got police cars with him, so he must be using his alt mode to his advantage, because they are chasing Bumblebee. So
yeah, I hope so.
Do you think we'll see Ruja in this? Do you think we at the end of this film we're going to see who in Barricade, or do you think they're going to drag it into like maybe another film?
I believe that there will be surviving Decepticons. I don't think they're just going to kill everybody off just like that. There's maybe going to be one or two that survive. I expect that with every sequel. And the main reason why is because I think the writers are going to treat these characters, like these Decepticon characters, like the characters in Generation 1. And that is, well, they don't really die. Some of them will die, but not all of them. And it's because what happens when they die is that fans feel like they weren't done justice. A lot of the characters aren't done justice to prolong their life to several films. I think is more appropriate. I think it's a better move in terms of storytelling, because they claim they have enough stories to tell for 10 years. So I think it's appropriate to bring these characters back for other films. But you know what? Every film, every sequel, we're going to get new characters. Even this film, I'm positive we're going to get introduced to one or two new Autobots.
Definitely, that'd be really cool. And going with the Autobot side, what I've sort of speculated about this myself, but I wasn't really sure about the answer. What is happening with Optimus Prime? How much do you think are going to see him in this movie? Is he going to be a little part of the movie? Is he going to have important scenes at the start, middle, and end? Or is he actually going to be quite a main part of the movie? What do you think?
I think Optimus Prime is going to have I think his part is going to be reduced slightly. I don't think it's going to be I feel that, it will be reduced slightly, mainly because he's in outer space looking for the creators, doing stuff that does not take place on Earth. He has his own little story. He has his own little mystery to solve right now. And it's actually not part of the story with the humans. I don't think it's part of the human story. I think that the Autobots are currently just fighting off Decepticons while Optimus is doing something else in another part of the world or the galaxy. So I think they're changing things up a bit. And here's another thing I want to add. Peter Cullen actually disagreed with some of the decisions that were made with his character for Optimus Prime in Age of Extinction.
Oh yeah.
So
I saw that. Yeah.
So I have a feeling that because of that, he may want to he might have had some negotiation with regards to how his character is dealt with in The Last Night.
Yeah, he might have even asked for like maybe a reduced part because he didn't like what was going on with Prime. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Optimus Prime did a lot of people consider not Optimus Prime stuff in Age of Extinction. Obviously, he killed a human, and he was just. I remember your review when you said it was like Attitude Prime. And it was because he was very angry, and we'd not, even with the movie Optimus Prime, we'd not seen that side of him, to the point that he wants to get off Earth. It's not his home anymore. He's done with the humans. So it's definitely not what Peter Cullen's used to, because not only the movie Optimus Prime, he plays obviously different iterations of Optimus Prime on different TV shows and everything. So yeah, it'd be it's potentially that's maybe the reason why his Optimus Prime's part in the film is maybe reduced because of that. So we've got a couple of questions, if that's all right, from the live stream, if that's all right, Alex. Kenton Productions wants to know, how would you guys rank the Transformers live action movies?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Kenton Productions asks, how would we rank the Transformers live action movies?
Oh, okay. Transformers, the first one, as number 1. Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and Revenge of the Fallen.
I actually. I watched Age of Extinction. I was so certain it was above Dark of the Moon, and I rewatched Dark of the Moon twice. Kind of like, I was like, actually no, I enjoyed this more. But I think that's because it was like that old sort of cast and stuff for what we do. As well as like the action wasn't as, regardless of the fact that the last half of the film was pure action, it was a little bit more easier to take in. I
agree.
But again, the first film is miles above the rest. Opinions as well. So
I just want to add that I actually thought Age of Extinction was better than Dark of the Moon when I first saw it in the theaters, but just like what you said, I watched again and again and again, and then I watched Dark of the Moon more, a couple more times, and then I just felt that I even enjoyed the human aspect of Dark of the Moon in the Chicago battle more than the human aspect of the Age of Extinction battle. I thought that the human aspect in the final battle in Hong Kong was just it doesn't do anything for me. But I liked the Nest team working together in the Chicago battle. That actually was it was so much better because you have scenes like the wingsuit sequence, and you have like these military guys working together with Autobots. I think that's a very strong element in the final battle, the Battle of Chicago. So that's why it had a better impression on me in Dark of the Moon than it did in Age of Extinction. The reason why I said Age of Extinction is better than Dark of the Moon when it first came out is because it just came out. It's so fresh, right? Yeah. Something new, right? You know, and you got Dinobots and everything. You were like, whoa! But then when you look back, the quality of the storytelling is just not there.
Yeah, it's very much all over the place. It was a casting announcement I was very excited for at the time, and then found the character more on the rewatch of the film, not necessarily the first viewing, but definitely the rewatch. It's official terminology, that is. Stanley Tucci's character, I found after watching it back very quite annoying, and I didn't like his character. And I was so excited for him to be in a film because Stanley Tucci is a very good actor. He's been in very good films, and I was so excited for it. And then after watching the film back, I was so like, your character, especially that scene in the lift. I was just like really cringing after watching that. I just did not. Where he's going, like the thing's gonna go off like a nuke and stuff, and he was like laughing. I was just like,
Yeah, he's pretty much written as comic relief, and a lot of the comic relief is just one-liners. And if it's just one-liners, I'll bet that a lot of the stuff was kind of like it was like improv. It was ad-libbed. It wasn't even in the script. I'm pretty positive of that because some of the best comedy actually comes out from non-scripted stuff, right? So, speaking of performances. Like, as much as I enjoyed Age of Extinction, Mark Wahlberg in Age of Extinction was one of the worst performances of his career. I've seen Mark Wahlberg perform in way better in a lot of other films, but we're not here to watch like human performances. I just want to throw that out there.
exactly. We come here to see the Transformers primarily, so
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I mean, I like Cade's character, and
I like the character.
yeah, it's just sometimes Mark Wahlberg sort of portrayed it sometimes very strongly, but then sometimes like interacting sometimes not very well as well. I will not miss, and I'm about 200% certain, as probably everyone else is, that Shane and Tessa are in this film, and I'm very much kind of glad about that as well.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like Tessa. I'm not too disappointed to not see her back, but I found Shane to be very forgettable as a character. Despite it being his acting debut, I thought he did a good job for what it was. I felt his character wasn't strong. It didn't really appeal to me. And I felt he was just forced in there as like a romance, and that was it.
I think that Shane's character would have been a lot more likable if he actually practiced his not practiced, but performed his skilled driving at the end of the movie, because all we saw is him driving backwards. That's all we saw, and it was like driving this beat up truck, right? In the beginning of the movie, they put so much emphasis on the fact that he's such a good driver, right? He has this amazing, this cool looking car, and he drives away from Decepticons, and you know, it really shows us that this is an extension of his character. But once we get to the end of the movie, we see him do is drive backwards in this beat up truck, and I'm thinking, like, who cares if he's like the best driver in Texas? Okay, this is like dumb. So it really is just poor writing for a character if you're gonna do that. It's just, it doesn't really show any, I guess, strengths for the character if you just show all his strengths at the beginning of the movie. So who cares about this guy?
Yeah, considering he got signed by Red Bull, apparently.
Yeah. He got signed by Red Bull.
It's I don't know. It was very and that's the thing. This is where we come back to the writing. But they made obviously efforts to show that he was a good driver, to put those lines in there, but then to not show it.
Yeah.
They had obviously the one sequence, but like with the drive in the rally car.
Yeah, I love that sequence. It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. And apart from that, we didn't see much else from it, and we just had to go off what we've been told. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we've got what I think is a very good question here by just trying to find your name. Dino Rampage asks, is Josh Duhamel going to be good or bad in Transformers: The Last Night?
I think that's a given, and that he's going to be good. I don't see any reason whatsoever why he would be bad. Okay.
It's I think there's a lot of people who have seen like everything that we've seen and suspected, oh, okay, he's on the human side, but the human side like could be on the Decepticon side.
Yeah.
So maybe Josh might be bad, but I don't think he's the same. I think if anything, I think what you said in one of your updates, where he might be on the side, he might be on the side of an organization that might be on, but he will not be part of that. He will effectively turncoat them to be good still.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, but I'm assuming obviously you think the same.
I totally think the same. I think that he's going to be working with the human military, and then he won't realize that they're doing something questionable. But we've learned about his character since the first 3 films that he fights for the greater good. So there is no way that the writers would actually write that he's going to be doing something evil. There's absolutely no way. Okay, that would be like, what the hell? Where did that come from? It's so out of character.
He's a good guy as well. Like they've built. It's like you said, they've built that character up over nearly, was it 9 years of films that with films that they've done with the 3 that they've made. So it would seem a complete out of the blue thing if they made him a bad guy.
Yeah.
again, they might do something different and catch. So I don't know. But yeah, it would be a massive plot twist if that happened. But I don't think we should expect it. One thing that I'm quite surprised about, and we've both talked about it in our updates, Squeak is we're not used to seeing that in a Transformers film.
Sorry, what was that? It cut out. There was a delay.
Squeaks is
Squeaks.
He's a practical effect. We don't see that in Transformers productions.
Yeah. I think that's Squeaks is gonna be a positive addition to the franchise, actually, or to this film at least.
He's do you think he's going to be in effect like the new Bumblebee? Do you reckon Bumblebee might take that role of just being the squeaky, quite literally the squeaky guy?
Squeaks is going to have a lot of screen time. I'm pretty sure of that. I don't think he's going to have so much that he plays like a main role. But the reason why I feel that is because they made him as a practical effect. He appears to be in scenes which involves the military. I don't know if you saw the photo of him with the hair jumpers. But that is a big deal. Like, why else would they need him as part of the team if he didn't know something or was capable of doing something? Squeaks is capable of doing something where the military need him to help save the day. That's why he's there for that scene. Another thing is that it's possible he might know something, and his knowledge is going to turn the tides of the battle. So that's why he is a part of that scene, and that's why I think that he's a big deal.
So he's going to be a very pivotal character to the film.
Yup.
It's and talking about sort of what we just sort of spoke about briefly. With my film, can we expect Bumblebee to have a voice? Is he going to get his voice back 5 films in?
Good question. I mean, it could go both ways. We could see a Bumblebee without a voice, or we could end up getting a Bumblebee with a voice. But I have a feeling that if we're going to see a Bumblebee spin-off film in 2018, then there's got to be, there's got to be something that happens that will help him get his voice back. It doesn't mean that like he's gonna have his voice back 100%, but in the Bumblebee spin-off film, I believe that his communication won't be limited to sounds, because it's just a lot of people are going to complain about that. They've been complaining about that for a long time now, and I think that the production needs to learn that this character can only be stronger if he's able to really communicate like a human being. So I think you're gonna have a very a weak film, a Bumblebee spin-off film, if the main character can't even properly communicate.
Yeah, and it's something, again, we come back to obviously the way the film's been made and stuff, and obviously with the writers' room and the new direction Hasbro's taking. Because I think I might be wrong on this, but I think Hasbro is in charge of now the stories that go into the Transformers films. Is that correct? Can't remember.
What's that? Cut out again?
I caught a couple of weeks ago that Hasbro are now in charge of the stories that go into the movies now. Like Paramount doing it or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that. So they could actually now be taking what the fans want and say stuff like, okay, Bumblebee, we're 5 films in now. We've been making these films for nearly 10 years. He's got to have a voice from now on, especially if he's getting his own movie.
Yeah.
In it. It'll be like a weak film.
Well,
the character.
Well, let's look at it this way. Bumblebee in Transformers Prime did not have a voice. Bumblebee and Robots in Disguise, which is essentially a continuation of Transformers Prime, has a voice now. So that wasn't something that that they just decided to do for the sake of doing it. They felt that if this character is going to be the lead in this cartoon series, he has to have a voice. So
yeah, and
it's possible that they could be applying that to the Bumblebee spinoff. But for him to have a voice, it's got to happen sometime in either the last night, or it will happen sometime in between those two films, or Bumblebee spinoff is actually a film that takes place in a different time. You know, not right after the last night. So that's the only logical reason why Bumblebee would have his voice back, or like how they're going to make that happen.
Changing subjects to the side, to another side. What are your thoughts on Megatron? Because we've had a lot of people obviously get confused about Megatron, what's happening with Galvatron and Arm. And a theory that I'm quite like is this actually could be he could actually be the last night. But what are your thoughts on the fact that Megatron, the way they'll do it? Because obviously they made a point of having Galvatron in Transformers: Age of Extinction. So to go back to Megatron is a bit of a weird one. So how would they explain that? What are your thoughts?
I think the biggest mystery for Transformers Last Night is what we're talking about right now, and that is the Galvatron and Megatron thing. A lot of the other things that are happening in the film are it's not so much that they're mysteries, but it's stuff that we're less concerned about. I think we're putting a lot of focus into Galvatron going to Megatron, and that's mainly because of, you're right, Galvatron coming into Age of Extinction is a big deal. Like, what is the point of making him into Galvatron if we're going to change him back to Megatron? And so that's why a lot of the fans are so worked up on this this whole theory about Galvatron going into Megatron. Now, as for my thoughts, I tend to not think about it too much, just because it's such a big mystery to the point where I could have all these theories, but I think in the movie they're going to explain it in a way that we would have never thought about. So with that being said, I'll explain my theories, and that is Galvatron is still going to exist in The Last Night. He's going to make a transition back to being Megatron.
Okay.
Or Megatron exists as Megatron, but in a different, maybe a different time, like during medieval time.
Right.
Maybe he appeared he came to Earth at one point in time, but it wasn't modern time. It wasn't present time. And the alt mode that he decided to take would be a dragon. I don't know. But I'm all out of ideas for the whole Megatron Galvatron thing. I'm going to stop thinking about it too much. I'm just going to let the movie play out and see what they do. Because I think that is the very, very big mystery, to the point where I think to a lot of the fans, they're getting stressed out about it.
Yeah.
Because I've been reading a lot of comments. I've been reading a lot of tweets and stuff like that. And a lot of people think that the idea of Megatron coming back and not even addressing Galvatron is something that they're complaining about. So I think we should stop complaining and let's wait till the movie comes out, and let's see what happens, because it will be addressed.
Yeah, and that's one thing I have faith in, is because of the new writers. This issue will be, like you said, it will be addressed. I don't think they're just going to go, okay, here's Megatron. We're not going to explain how that happened, but just I think the new writers will actually fill the gaps and stuff.
Yes.
And we might even see the transition. We might we might get to the film and see Galvatron maybe turn back into Megatron or split away or whatever. We might just see it in like a flashback or something. It might happen in present day, or as you say, it might happen in medieval times.
Yeah.
What do you think about his look? Because I love it. I really love.
You mean Megatron's new face, new look?
Yeah, the one that you do and stuff.
I think it's great. I think that I like the change. Like it looks nothing like the previous ones, but I like that they're changing him up to the point where it will feel like a completely new character, completely new alt mode, potentially a beast mode, and I'm curious to see what is going to happen. I don't have any complaints about that. I am welcome to change.
Yeah, and it's very. I've talked in one of my videos about how they could actually link it to Beast Wars with Megatron, because obviously Megatron was a dragon. So, and you said dragon earlier, and they could do that. But finally, I think if sort of like the final sort of speculation, what is happening with the Dinobots in this film in the universe now? And something that I found very funny at the time when I watched Age of Extinction was how Optimus Prime just said, go and be free now. Like a massive T-Rex is just going to fit in wildlife like a normal thing. And like the rest of the Dinobots and stuff. So how are they going to deal with that, if at all? Are they even going to be in the film, do we think, in the last night?
That is going to be a big mystery for the time being, just because during production, there's no way we can know that there's going to be Dinobots, because both the robot mode and alt mode is entirely CG. You know, unlike the Autobots and Decepticons, which are, of course, you know, alt modes that exist in real life, right? So it's going to be hard to tell if they're really going to be in it. I think that's something that is definitely going to be something that will be announced later on. But once again, just like in all the previous films, the Autobots are always outmatched. The Autobots are always in trouble. They just don't have enough help to the point where they actually need humans to help them out. So they're going to get some new additions, and it's going to be in the form of human military, some new Autobot characters, and it's possible they're probably going to get Dinobots helping them out. If they're going to bring in Dinobots, I'm positive that we're going to get Grimlock. I'm also sure that if we get Dinobots, we're going to get new Dinobots.
Oh, so new, like, because we had in Age of Extinction, obviously everyone remembers the G1 Grimlock. Yeah, they brought new characters in, like Scorn and Strafe.
Yeah.
So you're expecting more of that in the new film?
I'm expecting that there will be different Dinobots, so that we can have different toys. And I'm also thinking that there are more Dinobots that exist inside the Knights Temenos, which is, you know, Lockdown's. That ship, that little crash landed ship in China. There could be more guys in there, right? Yeah, there's just definitely potential for that. I think it's completely like wide open. Anything could happen.
I'm just going to finish with one. It's not really a question. It's and I'll leave out the swear word that the guy said. But he says he hopes Megatron isn't the main villain. Who should we expect to be the main villain in the new film? Because we've actually seen anything to you know, we saw Lockdown for Transformers Age of Extinction, and we knew that Lockdown was obviously going to be the main villain, or Galvatron, and obviously we all suspected like Megatron or Sentinel Prime was, you know, especially if you got spoiled, you knew Sentinel Prime was going to be the main villain for the moon. So, and obviously with the Fallen and then Megatron with the first movie, who should we expect to be the main villain for this film? Is it something that we might have already seen, or are they just not going to announce it at all and we just speculate?
We're gonna get at some point in time the announcement of who the main villain is. But if you look back at the production of, actually, if you look back at the last 3 sequels, the main villains were always announced at some point in time. But the main villain has never been Megatron in any of the sequels.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that Megatron will be a main villain, but he's not going to be the main villain, if you know what I mean.
We're 5 films in, and Megatron needs to be the main villain.
I know, totally. So Megatron will be a main villain, as in, like, there's going to be a big fight between him and Optimus, and I think it's going to be a great fight. But I think the villains in The Last Night are going to have 3 tiers, like tier 1, tier 3, tier 2, or tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I think that Megatron is going to be a tier 2 villain. Onslaught is a tier 1 villain, and tier 3 is going to be something that we don't know yet.
I speculated about that banner that's in New York had that 3-headed dragon.
Yeah.
Now, there's multiple things it could be. Is it going to be Megatron? Is it going to be some Guardian or something? I'd love it to be Megatron, but I genuinely think that the small time that Optimus, I think that this dragon, because it looks like he will go up against this dragon.
He will.
Yeah, it would be really false marketed if he didn't. But I think the thing I worry about is that it will be nothing more than an obstacle in Optimus's way, and it will be a really cool fight sequence, but it won't be something that's integral to the plot or anything. It will just be something that he has to sort of slay. Or should we actually expect this be a potential main villain or something like that, or maybe something that the creators created or something?
I think there's no way that the production would actually allow the public to see who the main villain is so early in production. So the 3-headed dragon is not the final battle guy. I don't think. I mean, could be part of the final battle, but he's not the guy who gets completely decapitated by Optimus Prime.
I love how the first assumption that Optimus Prime's final blow is like takes from some form of their face off, or send that to like so many of his opponents. All right, Alex. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. I think a lot of comments and stuff. Really good questions from you guys as well. So I want to thank all you guys for tuning in and watching the live stream. I'm very happy that we could do it. And Alex, just want to say, well, on behalf of my subscribers anyway, genuinely massive appreciation for all the work you do on your channel. For me, you are my number one. It's kind of what you say at the end of the video, but you are like the number one bit of news for like Transformers, the new Transformers movie that's coming out. So I just want to say on behalf of everyone that I know watches you, thanks for all the effort and stuff that you put into making your videos and stuff.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. I really enjoy doing this with you, and I really enjoy making those videos for everybody.
Yeah, it's really good. I know you've been doing it for a long time, so it's good to see that. Like you said, we've got 10 years worth of films coming out. Who knows? We'll still be doing 10 years time.
There's going to be plenty of chats in the future.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be a lot easier to sort of get started up than the one that we did tonight.
I mean, this is all new to me. Actually, I've never done anything like this before, so this is actually really cool. But we'll set it up a little bit more organized in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we can sort of do one when there's like a trailer come out. We can do like a trailer sort of.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, well, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Alex, but go over there, hit the subscribe button. Again, #1 place for Transformers: The Last Night news. I'm really
subscribe to Ben.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm kind of doing a disjustice to my channel, actually. So I'm saying that's not. But yeah, guys, right, go and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to me, but you've still found the stream, well done, and then subscribe. But yeah, thank you guys for commenting. We'll see you in the next stream, next video. I'm sure the news is going to be coming out some form. So we'll see you guys in the next updates on both our channels. Take it easy, guys, and good night.
Yep. Good night,
You want
guys.
to say bye, Alex?
Yep. Good night, guys.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
All right, take it easy, guys. Bye.
All right, see ya.